Welcome to Macro Magic. I'm Sheri DeMaris, and with me today is Mary McCabe from Mary's Veggie Cooking. And we're filming live from the Cape May Winery. And today Mary's going to show us all these wonderful dishes with tofu. Mary has been a special guest on our show 3 or 4 times in the past, Macro Magic.
I think it's the 4th today.
The 4th? Mm-hmm. So Mary, show us a little bit about this setup, this beautiful setup that you just created.
So today we're going to work with, we're smoking, hold on. We're going to work with varieties of tofu dishes that we can do in many ways. So this is going to be grilled tofu, and what I did is I took sesame oil, toasted sesame oil, and I coated the pan so it's nice and hot.
So this is the toasted sesame
And I
oil.
also did the other side so that it would be also make a nice seal. So now we're going to grill it and turn it, and I'll show you how to turn it so that you get the grill marks that are very fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, these cast iron pots are super cheap for people who want to buy them, and they have iron in them, so they put iron back in your body when you're
last
cooking them.
forever. I've had them from my mother, they're probably 50, 60 years old.
Nice.
So these are the grilled tofu already made. I just wanted to show you. You can use these and save them, and as long as they have a seasoning on them, they'll keep in the fridge, and you can make sandwiches out of them.
That's
you can also
really
chop them
nice.
up and put them in different ways to use them.
Really
And we're
nice.
also going to be making some miso soup today. So
And I just made this wonderful tofu sandwich the other day with kimchi.
Oh, I know, I love kimchi.
Yeah, and harissa sauce, and this would go wonderful in the
I'm
sandwich.
going to do the onions real quick. So I made a dashi broth and with kombu, and this one is a vegan one. It does not have the bonita flakes. These are the bonita flakes that you can make the real dashi with. The bonita flakes is very umami. And so I have a vegan one, and I also have one that is with the bonita flakes. So this one is the vegan. So we're just going to put a little onion in first.
So for those of you who don't know what unami is, it's a flavorful broth that you can add into miso, you can use it in dressings, and it's simply kombu, seaweed, which Mary's demonstrating, and dried shiitake mushrooms. And then if you want to add dried bonita flakes, it makes more of a fishy flavor.
So we're just letting the onions cook a little bit, and some onion slivers, and let them cook a little bit, and then we're going to put a little wakame. And here's your wakame. It comes in a nice little dried flakes, and they reconstitute very quickly. You don't need much. So just let for a few minutes and let them go right in. Then we also have asparagus. So it'll be a nice little dish, and we're going to have tofu and some white miso in the
And miso soup is so important right now for people to have because it grows back the little hair in your digestive tract and helps boost your immune system and keeps your resistance strong against any viruses or diseases that might be out there.
Yeah, miso is really wonderful. It's the soup that is the get better soup. My sister makes us a get better soup, but hers is chicken stock. Yeah. So
This is the vegan version.
So I'm going to put the asparagus in now, just a little bit to give it a little twist for the spring. And then once they have kind of gotten them so that they're cooking, and I don't want them to cook too much, so they're still really green. And then when you put your tofu in, just make them all almost the same.
Do you want me to flip the tofus over?
Not yet. I think I have to look and make sure they're ready. Give them a few more minutes. You can't move them because then that ruins the
lines.
So when you cook tofu like this, you have to make sure that you let it, once it sinks first, and then once it rises to the top, it's done. It doesn't take long to cook tofu this way. And then we're going to add some miso to it, and we don't want to boil the miso. We want to wait until it's simmering. So we'll give it a few more minutes, and then we'll almost be ready to serve it in my new
Very
beautiful.
simple.
Yeah. really
And
is.
so
This is-
beneficial
is a good miso
to your
soup.
digestive tract.
Oh, we have mushrooms too. We wanted to put a few mushrooms in. So we're going to put a few mushrooms in.
Nice.
And these have already been soaked. And then once they soak, take at least an hour. And you want to save the broth because that's really good that it's been soaking it. So it's almost risen. So we're going to lower the flame to very low so that it doesn't boil the miso. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is.
Right. You don't want to boil the miso, right?
No.
And Mary's dissolving it in a little bit of water first.
Yeah, I'm going to use some of the broth from the soup.
To
So if you, miso is an alive food, has many enzymes. And so you don't want to spoil the enzymes by cooking it because then they won't be alive anymore or be beneficial to you, right?
And there's different kinds of miso, right? There's barley miso, brown rice miso,
Chickpea.
white miso.
Yeah, there's all kinds. I like the white miso. It's very delicious. You can mix them too. You can do the brown, red, and it depends on what bean you use. So there's always soybean and barley. That's your basic. But there's also just soybean, which is that hotcho miso, which is so strong. So I'm actually going to just turn it off for a little bit because it's cooking pretty fast. So I've just put maybe a tablespoon of the miso diluted with some water and some broth. You do want to make sure it's completely diluted and mixed in because you don't want to have a chunk of miso in your mouth.
And you want to use it, according to how much salt your body can take. Because if you're making this for a child, you want to make it much lighter, and actually for an older person as well.
Yeah, you have to be
because
careful.
both those age groups can't take too much salt.
So then we're going to spoon it out because it's pretty much done. It doesn't. Usually you say you let it sit for about 5 minutes to get it going. You really have to be so careful of your burner. So meanwhile, we're going to look at our grilled tofu, see if it's ready.
That looks so good, Mary.
So now, so you see this side, so you want to turn it so that it's going to have the grill marks. So just turn it a quarter turn, and that way
So
you'll
you're
have
doing that to get the crisscross of the marks.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
clever.
fun.
That's
You can
fun.
do this with fish too, or anything you want, but it's nice.
And you
with
know the
tofu.
grill marks on your Kentucky Fried Chicken are more carcinogenic.
Oh, are
so
they?
It's
Ooh.
nice to use tofu.
Okay, so now our miso soup is ready, and we're just going to spoon it into the bowl. Turn this off. Oh, I keep burning myself. Oh, here we are. And you can see it's a beautiful
That
color.
looks so good.
And then the green asparagus. So
Nice.
nice. So then we have a little scallion garnish. It's always good to have a little scallion
Oh,
garnish.
that's beautiful.
So there we have our miso soup. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to burn myself again. So, okay, that's that.
So, Mary, you have these really delicious looking desserts over to my right, and then some
Yeah, well-
deep fried tofu, which I think
Well, we have scrambled tofu here. And actually here, I'm just going to do real quick. This is scrambled tofu. Now, it's all put together, but this way you can see it and see how it's made. So what you do is you take a little bit of onion. It's whatever you want, and it's a good thing to clean out the fridge because you can use all these, if you have fresh corn or peas,
Nice.
anything you want, and it's just
And
called
this is a
scrambled
great
tofu.
alternative to scrambled eggs, right? If you're
Yeah.
vegan and you don't
It's
want
a
to
great
eat
breakfast
eggs.
food. And then if you use a little bit of kuzu in water and mix it up, then you can have it a little bit gelled. So this is the kuzu, and we'll show you a
So kuzu is a
it's a-
thickening starch that it comes from the kudzu plant that's
this
grown
is the
in the
kuzu.
south.
This is a great item. I mean, I love having kuzu. It's
Very healing to the gut.
Yeah, and if you don't feel well, boy, it's the best. And it's very good for your lower area because kuzu grows in some parts of the country. It's like a wild weed, and people hate it, and they can't. But it's really very medicinal. So here's your scrambled tofu. I have one right here showing you, and you can add a little soy sauce to it.
You have corn in it too,
Corn and
right?
peas,
Corn
carrots.
and peas.
And you just make it all small. So if we put a little kuzu in, you'll see what will happen is it'll thicken up.
So you gotta dissolve the kuzu first with water.
Yeah. So kuzu has to be, you have to dissolve it, but best way is to use your fingers, because then you can feel that it's all melted and no more lumps. So kuzu is a replacement for people who use cornstarch or potato starch, but today we're going to also use arrowroot starch. Yeah, and we'll just do this. So here I'm going to just put a little in.
To thicken it? I've
Yeah.
never used kuzu in tofu scramble, but it looks really,
Yeah, it makes it come together.
so it
And then
makes it more saucy.
Yeah. So, do you have soy sauce over there? Behind it, right?
Oh,
So with kuzu, you know, you can also, let's say you put too much in, you don't want to put too much because it'll get really thick and you don't want that. So we're going to put a little dash of soy sauce in just to flavor it. You can flavor it with anything you want. Some it's going all over the place. Scallions, ginger.
beautiful. And turmeric too, I think.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do. It's wide open. Cumin, you can turn it into a curry.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's your, see? And then with kuzu, you want to cook it for a few minutes after, so the starch gets all cooked out.
So it sort of has a thick glaze on it, right?
Yeah. And so let's see how our grilled tofu is doing. Oh, it looks good. So now we're going to turn it over and do the other side.
Oh, nice. It has those little crisscross marks.
Yeah. I mean, you can,
Really clever.
this one turned out real good.
Kids will love this. You know, they love tofu anyway.
So we
but
have to be
make
careful
it
so
grill it.
that we can do the grill marks on the other side too. Okay, so now this is cooked long enough. Turn it off, and
And put it
you
down.
can see how it is. Looks good, huh? So we're just going to take this and put it somewhere else, right? That's not a good place to put it. Put it down here.
Okay.
I just want to show you real quick about the shiitake. I got this from Amazon, and it's very hard to find. These are the, what's the word? The real
Danko?
Dango. And I was so happy to find it because if you go to any of the markets, they all have chemicals in them, preserving it. But this one is just dried shiitake danko, and it's very medicinal. And the reason why is because here's one that is raw. And so what happens is underneath this curl are these little spores, and the spores are really, really good for helping heal high blood pressure, cancer. It's really medicinal. So it's a
Yeah.
great item to have, but it's good to try to find dango, and it's not easy to find.
So that's great, Merritt. We're going to cut a break for a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to see some more dishes made out of tofu and hear about what Mary's been doing lately in her kitchen.
Okay.
Welcome back. I'm Sheri DeMaris, and I'm here with Mary McCabe from Mary's Veggie Cooking. And we're filming live from Cape May at the winery. And Mary has just made some miso soup and some beautiful grilled tofu. And now we're going to talk about agidashi tofu, right?
Yeah, agidashi.
This
That's
is a really fun dish to make with tofu.
So what we're doing right here real quick is we are warming up this sauce, which I made earlier because there's not a whole lot of time. And this was with a garlic and soy and, oh my God, it had all kinds of wonderful things. So this is what would be here. And so this was the agidashi tofu that I made yesterday. And then if you pour the sauce over it, or ladle, oh here, I'll just use this. And you just pour the sauce over it, and that's the way you serve it, and it's beautiful. This had
Wow.
garlic and ginger.
Wow.
It was really good.
Beautiful.
Very tasty.
This is such a delicious dish. It's got a lot of oil in it, but
Not
that
really.
oil
Not really.
deep fried or fried.
So what we're going to do is, first I have this handy little dandy press for tofu, and push this down, there it is. And then you have to get the other, you have to be strong. So what happens is, it squeezes out the excess water in the tofu. See how this works? Really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you can use a bowl and a lid and weight, and that works too. But,
So you want to press the tofu so it doesn't get that much liquid while you're cooking, right?
Yeah. So this is arrowroot that I filtered, through a strainer because you don't want any lumps. And what we'll do is we're just going to cut these. I think I'll only do 3 so we have enough time.
Some people I heard freeze tofu, freeze
dry
dry
it,
it.
right.
Yeah. And I've heard some people put it in the freezer and then try to cook it.
Yeah, they do that. You squeeze it out and it makes
Yeah,
dry
I haven't
tofu.
really tried that.
How they invented it was they would put it out in the snow, and then then in the morning they'd come out and they'd be all like a sponge. And so
And you can buy it freeze dried actually in Japan.
I'm just going to dip it into the arrowroot. A lot of people I noticed, I looked things up, they use potato starch, but I'm using arrowroot, and I prefer that. You can also ground up your kuzu if you really want to have high quality starch.
Nice.
That would work too. I think we need to get this a little higher, get it going. And then we have this sauce here on the side that we're going to take our grilled tofu, see? And then you just put it into the sauce and let it simmer.
Oh, nice.
And then when
So
you
what
plate
is
it,
in the sauce again?
well, there's variations. So you can put soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, mirin, maple syrup, salt. There's varieties. And then you can use your ginger to flavor it.
Make it really Asian flavor.
And so when you do this, you have to do it right away.
And that's
And then
just to make it real crispy on the outside.
Yeah, it really makes it yummy. So that's that. And now here's when you want to use raw tofu. I use the soft tofu. And what you do is, in the summer, you can use, what we'll do? We'll grate some ginger and some daikon. So we use a little whole ginger.
So this is a little bit grated.
Yep. And then, so here's a good tofu type. Is this fresh tofu. I like this company a lot. They make good tofu. And then here's, you can get the organics. They have that out there. And they have all the ones firm. This is more firm. And when you use the soft tofu, this is the soft tofu. So what we'll do is we have
You
the
want
soy
to put it right on the top?
Yeah, we're going to put it right on top of here.
So this
Wait,
is
let
how
me
to
put the
eat
soy sauce first.
raw tofu.
Yeah, and you can cook your soy sauce if you want first.
We're just having a tofu party.
Yeah, it's a tofu party. We still have a lot more.
In case you're afraid to try tofu, we're giving you
And do
100
daikon,
different
too.
ways.
So
And this
do a
is
little
a
more
white
ginger
radish.
Here. Yeah, white radish.
And
lots
I
of
always say
scallions.
this is the power cleanser of your blood. So daikon radishes help bring down your cholesterol and take fat out of your blood, and that's why you use them in deep fried dishes because it helps
here's
you
some
digest the oil.
Sesame seeds you can use just on top.
Oh, beautiful!
And then if you want to have this bonita flakes, if you're vegan, then you don't want this, but this goes really well too. So that's a nice for the summer. It's
So
great.
here's our daikon.
Daikon, yeah. So we'll put that on top. And
So
this
that
is
helps
very
you digest
refreshing in the
raw
summer.
tofu.
So we need to talk about the salad I made, and that is with you
Is this
take
a
all
salad?
the hard vegetables, yes, like the red radish. Also, you have Brussels sprouts, cabbage,
Nice.
red cabbage, all the ones that don't let's see, we lower that that don't go bad fast. They don't have a lot of liquid in them.
So like a Cobb salad.
And also, you can put some nori flakes on that, and so it makes it really beautiful. Now we've got to turn these. So you turn each side. We probably need to add a little more oil.
And if you're doing this at home with your kids, make sure that you're supervising them, of course.
So, where's that jar here? So here you can pickle your tofu with a little umeboshi juice, and we do have it to show. And then you could just crumble it. And
Tofu cheese.
And you can do that with miso too. White
And
miso
it makes
goes
it
well.
taste like blue cheese, actually.
And then this
right?
is a nice little salad dressing with it has a scallion and then ginger and also soy sauce and all kinds of fun things. Now
Nice.
you could pickle this first and squeeze out the excess water in this salad, but I like it nice and crunchy. But if you put salt in it and then squeeze it out, then
I
you're
like it
going to
crunchy,
have it's going to be too mushy. Now so we're going to turn it again. And then this is another little fun thing I made. It's stuffed tofu, and what you do is you take the piece of tofu and you cut it out a little square and make a pocket, and then you can stuff it with whatever you want. So I stuff it with the scrambled tofu. And then
you can stuff seaweed in there, like aromaise seaweed. I've seen that.
So I want to lower this because it is boiling. It has soy sauce in here. And so the same thing, you're going to, I think we need more oil. Here we are. A little bit more oil on the, actually what happened is the pan is over here, the oil. So you just turn it each side, and then it becomes really yummy and crispy on the outside, and it's very delicious.
And this is the finished dish.
Yeah, these are the finished dish, and you can sprinkle all. Now these are micro greens, and I just love them. You know, you can put it up top of the salad. So now here we also have a dessert that is also made with tofu. This is the tofu day, and let's plate this, Sheri, real quick. Yeah.
So, Mare, we're going to wrap up while you're plating the tofu.
Let me show you this real quick.
We want to show
here.
people how they can reach you if they're interested in seeing your new website.
My new website is Mary's Veggie Cooking. So here we are. This is a tofu cream, and I made it with a.
How beautiful!
And then you can squeeze a little.
Great ending of the show.
Yeah. See? Oh no! Here's the grand finale. I hope it works. Let's see if they hold up.
Oh, beautiful!
Yeah. So I made it with Canton agar flakes, and you know you can just get these little fun things to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well,
But this
thank
is all
you so
made
much,
with tofu,
Mary,
so
for
I hope
being on the
everybody
show.
enjoyed it, and that you can now find more ways to use tofu.
Tofu.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on our show, Mare, and viewers.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks
My
for
pleasure.
tuning in. Make sure to visit our new website, www.macromagic.com, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.